So I was right, by the way. So when I'm looking at the flavoring, it's very similar, and I think it's an employee error. This is a perfect example of how businesses constantly make drinks wrong and stuff like that, and managers don't do anything. And like, this is another example now of another location doing it the same way, wrong. So the picture, it's almost right, but what they're doing is, because the flavor is 3 different flavors, and one of them is dragon fruit and passion fruit. That's why they're doing it wrong. The Galaxy drink is a light blue in colors and is supposed to get the passion fruit. So hence it's light blue color. So they're constantly giving it the dragon fruit, which is actually just the mermaid drink. So they're actually mixing it wrong, and the mermaid drink, I think, is only 2 flavors too. They're adding a 3rd flavor, so they're just mixing and making not a drink on the menu, which is why it tastes a little funky. This is not an approved flavor, and they're just serving it. And this is branding. This is why nobody's buying these. Like that's the point. So like, my message again to the company, like, this is the point, is like, this is what I spent a lot of time being very good at. And I am very good at it. And I could easily go around and recognize when things are wrong, like this. 2 different locations, you can clearly see it's not a light blue color. It is in fact dark green. Why? That's branding. And I was able to, again, deduce exactly why from what I just did. Now, where's my straw? Yeah, they didn't put my energy in the last one. I can tell by the taste. So that last one was made so wrong. This tastes better too. I think the proportions are, they know how to do the portions here. So it's like basically an entire drink on the menu that essentially 2 different locations are doing wrong. And again, I'm able to deduce that simply going to the location and recognizing the coloration is incorrect, and then deducing, oh, it's because one of them's supposed to be dragon fruit or passion fruit versus dragon fruit. You know, like, essentially it's passion fruit, dragon fruit. And those employees are just glancing at the bottle really quick and just... And that's all. That's all that's happening. Bet you that passion fruit never gets used. It just sits there. And they wonder what it's for. Like, what is this for? This will be a light blue color, not dark green. This will be a light blue. Looks to be light blue. A light blue. A light blue. We got the Family Dollar. Hand wash. Premium Auto Spa. You know, I've actually considered using that just to see how it is. Family Dollar. Open 7 days a week. The quality your car needs. Interior specialist. Hand wash, car wash place. You know, I'm pretty good at hand washing myself. is the Appalachian here. These are nothing compared to the Rockies. They really are. These are nothing compared to the Rockies. Honestly, they're not mountains even compared to the Rockies. They're really not. But nonetheless, people still consider them mountains. This is the Appalachian Mountains. They're really not mountains. It's just the really big hills, you know. Yeah, just basically is what they are. I'm sure once they were mountains, but not really anymore. All the sediment has pretty much eroded down. Like rocks are all falling like further down the mountain tops and stuff. Like it's just a lot of it's just eroded away over the years, you know, through the generations. You know, like you think about the way the Grand Canyon was formed. That's what we talked about with erosion. You know, like just essentially the way it was formed, you know, where water sits there and very slowly like erodes away at the ground until it forms this giant gaping hole that we know as the Grand Canyon. Yeah, it's very similar where, you know, you just have water and rain and you know, it's already a hill, so as that rain runs down the hill, it takes the sediment, the rocks, and the minerals and stuff and washes it down the hill. And that's how you get your farms. You know, like literally that's how we get fertile lands and stuff. So like, you know, like the mountains and stuff, we have the mountains, a lot of that to thank for the minerals and stuff that wash into our, you know, the lands and breed, you know, agriculture, you know, essentially for farming. So, you know, like that's essentially what some of the first civilizations started figuring out, and why we talk about that today is essentially like some of the geniuses of their time that were able to figure out how to make aqueducts and essentially, you know, like transport water, you know, like essentially downhill and like recycle it and stuff like that. You know, knowing how to do that. That's the point. Is like pretty evolutionary. You know, you're skipping way ahead in your evolution chain if you figure that out so early on, which is why a lot of people, you know, held the Mayans and you know, a lot of these ancient civilizations in such high regard, you know, essentially because they figured these things out that took us thousands of years to figure out, you know. Well, or at least 1,000, you know, like a little over 1,000, you know. And so like we have to look at that, you know. We have to realize, wow, some people were really smart with the, you know, the civilization. So like, what the fuck happened, you know? How do we not do that? How do we not end up like that? And then, you know, we are. The point is we are eventually. So we have to evolve out of that. We have to be smarter. Don't let your genetics of being, you know, wanting to resort to, you know, war and stuff like that, disagreement and stuff, get the better of you. Remember where we came from. Remember evolution. Remember why we are where we are and why we want a civilized society. Yeah, and why you want to protect the environment, you know. So your rainwater is just coming from those freshwater sources and other stuff like that, like the you know, like the clouds coming from the ocean and stuff too. But you know, it's picking up water, and so like when you pollute waterways and you pollute and stuff like that, that water only gets filtered so much, and then rains back down again. So when you're polluting, you're damaging the planet. You're damaging the ecosystem. You're damaging various things on this earth as the water tries to filter itself and recycle itself. You're actually damaging the ozone layer, the environment, the clouds, the ability for the planet to do what it needs to do, and it fights back. Trust me, it does. And we experience the backlash of the planet defending itself, you know. It will win, I promise. will get rid of us before we get rid of it. And we need the planet. So if we get rid of the planet by accident, even by accident, that's the point. This is our home. Why wouldn't we take care of it? This is partially why I made the point about, like, one of my favorite shows the other day being Star Trek and stuff like that. You know, if everybody aspired to be a Starfleet officer, the point is we would have world peace. Well, yeah, that's the point. You know, the message behind what they do isn't to have a whole fleet of ships and be, you know, they're not the Imperials, they're not Star Wars, and that's when people make this mistake in their heads that I guess don't watch Star Trek. They think that, like, Star Trek is in some way like the Federation is just like, you know, well, the Imperials, but like later down the line. No, it's actually not. It's not at all the case at all. It's like the opposite. It's what you would get if the Jedi's won. If essentially they were allowed to be civilized for long enough to have rules, regulations, to essentially evolve past and forego modern conveniences to have a better society, they would develop that technology. They would have enough people working towards that goal that they would forego those things, and it would just happen. But when you don't have enough people working towards the same common cause, it will never happen, and history will repeat itself. It'll just cycle back over again. And so, you know, the point is, behind what Starfleet does is essentially to, you know, they have these fabricators essentially to just create things, food, whatever they need out of thin air. So this helped forego modern conveniences. It helped people with that concept. So the point is, yeah, if you had something like that would actually definitely help you, you know, with, you know, rebuild societies and stuff like that, where you wouldn't need to feel some sort of burden of trying to give them a bunch of your resources and stuff. You could help in a much more credible way, you know, without, again, foregoing your own, you know, bread and butter. And so this is the point is you can, you know, essentially, instead of using technology to control, use it to help and explore and evolve and help society. And that was what the Federation was about. It was about peacekeeping. The Enterprise was an exploration vessel. It wasn't a warship. It often was outgunned. The purpose was to explore strange new worlds, seek out new life and new civilizations, to boldly go where no man has gone before. That's it. It wasn't to explore, destroy, or anything. No, explore strange new worlds, seek out new life, new civilizations, to boldly go where no one's gone before. That's it. That's it. And truthfully, I understand Musk wanting to go to Mars for that reason and stuff like that, and I'm all for it and stuff too with that. But again, like, you know, you wouldn't give Attila the Hun the keys to the IRS building. You know, like, you wouldn't, you know, like, that's all I'm saying. Like the point is, like, of his own money or something ridiculously high like that. That's more money than anybody on the planet has. And like, I just, this is the biggest whiner on the planet. More money than like, you could single-handedly buy everyone out of their poverty, and he's the one saying that everybody's this guy that could take his own money and fix things is the one that's removing people from their positions and lying and saying that the government's spending too much money and yada yada yada. Yet this is the guy that could fix that. And he could just take his own money and fix it. Yet He's sitting here trying to make it. Let's give you a receipt. Let's tell her to hold up a receipt. Yeah, we'll have her hold up a receipt. It'll look all cool and everything. And then meanwhile, anybody that actually wants to know facts and what's going on is gonna go, what the hell is that? It's just a piece of paper. I can do that too. You know, it's sort of like in a movie when like somebody comes behind somebody and like, you know, like pretends to like hold them up with a candy bar or something like that, or like, you know, that's kind of what that reminds me of. Or like, you know, in a movie, like somebody pretends to be a cop or something and like they just like flash the badge really quick and it's like a fake, like a toy badge or something, but like the idea is they flash it far away and really quick. Yeah, like that's what this kind of reminds me of. Like essentially like Elon Musk just printing out a piece of paper that is somehow quote unquote proof of anything. And again, this is what she holds up as proof. She just holds up a piece of paper. So like again, that's all this reminds me of. Again, it reminds me of like people in the movies just, you know, pretending to, you know, hold somebody up with a fake, you know, like a candy bar or something, and they think it's a gun just because there's an object on their back. Or, you know, again, like somebody pretends to be a cop by flashing a fake badge, but it's very clearly a plastic badge, and you can see that. Or, you know, it's just, or like in Superbad when he goes into the fucking grocery store. Yeah, that's what it is. You know what? This is. That is literally just McLovin. That's all that is. Her holding up the piece of paper. That is as believable as he was in Superbad when he tried to get away with pretending to be McLovin and actually try to convince this person that he was old enough to buy alcohol with a fucking ID that said McLovin. That's about as believable as that. Oh my god. Imagine having that job. That must suck, where like just regular like earnest truth doesn't make sense to you anymore. Like she would actually probably have regular problems telling the truth. She would just probably struggle with it because like everything to her has to be like, she has to like come up with stuff and it has to like make sense, but it, again, can't be too specific because she's just making shit up. Like imagine having that job. Jeez. Like, that's just awful. I why would you ever elect this fucking guy? I'm just like, what a joke this country is. It really, what a joke this country is. The only people not making it a joke are the people that actually care, the first responders and the people actually working, making good, hard earnest living. And the funny thing is, they're the ones voting for this asshole. So the point is, like, they don't know. They don't have a fucking clue. Yeah, they just want somebody to do that job who's going to appear to be the stronger, tougher individual. That's it. And I got news for you. It ain't all about that. Like, I really hope people are starting to realize that. And I got news for you. If you had elected Kamala, you have to realize that Russia sincerely feared her. Like, all these other countries sincerely feared a woman president. This is what they fear. They do not want a woman president as the leader of the United States. Imagine sitting here and pushing little trending notifications on various social media devices, and I'm coming back into the stream to confirm if it works. Yeah, it's like this is the point. Like, there's so many things going on that just regular people don't understand. They want a very simple solution to. It's not this. It couldn't possibly be that. It's not what it is. It's all these other simple things that you clearly tried 8,000 times. No, it's not that. Again, it's like people want a simple solution to Ukraine too. There isn't one. You know, like when some asshole starts a war, there's no simple solution to that. You don't just fucking fix it, man. It ain't some miracle. Yeah, when some lunatic starts a war, that's it. There ain't no just sudden abrupt end. And Donald Trump's trying to get do away with any relations with President Zelensky and stuff like that. I think that's really messed up because he is the president of Ukraine. I think that's really messed up because he is the president of Ukraine, and Ukraine. The reason that they've even stood a chance not to be flattened and killed, for literally basically all their people to have been killed, because that's what Russia was doing. They were literally committing war crimes and killing women and children and civilians in general. And so, you know, this is the point, is you can't just be like, well, I think Russia's right. You can't just do that. You can't just have an opinion when it's wrong. We're talking about a war. We're talking about, what versus your fucking opinion. Children, you have to worry about. This is the modern world. Is that the richest, most entitled jackass will just flatten a country just because. Again, why the fuck did we randomly flatten Iraq? Why is it that again, when Bush and stuff and Cheney and all them were in office, why was our response to 9/11? Yep, let's just flatten Iraq. You realize how many soldiers have fucking problems now because of this? Because it was unfair, because they were told about these things, and they have problems now rationalizing that they randomly destroyed a country and killed some people for basically absolutely no reason whatsoever. And they're actually struggling. You guys realize right now there's a lot of people with PTSD, soldiers and stuff, struggling with this. Young people, not even people older, young people struggling with this, that were soldiers at the time, young soldiers at the time. They're still pretty young guys struggling with this. And the problem is, you got Donald J. piece of shit Trump, Donald Jackass Trump. I love that his name says Jackass. Donald Jackass Trump taking away oxygen tanks and shit like that. Essentially benefits from firefighters that helped in 9/11, taking away those benefits and stuff like that. Jon Stewart sticking up for him, but Donald Jackass Trump taking him away. And meanwhile, while in office, one of the first things Trump says, one of the first things he says, is exactly in line with what the other Republican did. If he's assassinated, if I'm assassinated, obliterate Iraq, destroy Iraq. What the fuck? What? How? What? So again, another Republican candidate just randomly having some sort of lunatical rage, fucking just ridiculous rage over Iraq for absolutely incoherent reasons. And again, it would be really great to know what those are. But oh yeah, that's right. Donald Trump is sitting here and intentionally lying to you about the JFK files because he doesn't want you to know that, yep, it was an inside job. The government killed JFK. Yup. Everybody was telling him to fire first. Everybody was telling him to send more troops. And he was the only one, the Democrat was the only one that made the right collective calm fucking decision to not fire, not send more troops, and was going to tell the truth until, again, our own government killed him. So yeah, this is what Donald Trump's trying to cover up. Merry Christmas, Happy New Year. Welcome to the United States of fucking stupid.